Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and in this video we'll be doing a detailed camera review of the new iQOO Neo 6. So iQOO Neo 6 is the latest device under the 30,000 price segment in India, and this device comes with the popular Qualcomm's Snapdragon 870 chip. You get a triple camera setup here and also get a selfie camera. So let's see how good the camera experience is on this iQOO Neo 6, and is it really a good camera below the 30,000 price segment in India right now. So before getting started, if this is your first time on this channel, do hit that red subscribe button and also hit the bell icon to get notified of all the videos we publish. So let's look at the hardware first. So you get a primary 64 megapixel sensor. It's a Samsung's GW1P sensor, and you get optical image stabilization for the primary camera. You get an 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, then you get 2 megapixel macro sensor, and on the front panel you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera. The primary 50 megapixel camera has f1.9 aperture and the selfie camera is f2.0 aperture. So that was the camera hardware. Let's go straight into the camera samples and see how good the iQOO Neo 6 is in terms of camera. So first let's have a look at the daylight shots. Here you can see that the camera produces good images that are detailed and has good sharpness levels too. The colors are mostly accurate and does not saturate the images. The detailing also looks good and the sharpness levels are good, and this is evident when you pixel peep the images. The dynamic range is also looking good and shadows are exposed well as well. Overall, the daylight shots are quite good and usable, and most people won't have anything to complain here. Now moving on to the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. Here the images have good details, and surprisingly the 8 megapixel camera retains almost the same colors as the primary camera, even though the dynamic range isn't as good as the primary sensor, which is quite obvious. There is decent levels of sharpness you can expect from the 8 megapixel shooter. Overall, the ultra wide angle camera came out quite well and they are usable. Now coming to the close-up images, here we can see good details, and images once again have good sharpness levels and details. The colors are also pretty good, and once again there is no saturation issues. The phone also comes with a 2 megapixel macro sensor, and the results are pretty much average. You can shoot from only 4 cm distance and get decent results, although the colors looks a bit washed out. This is more or less expected from the 2 megapixel macro sensor. Now moving on to the portraits, here you get decent looking portraits, but once again iQOO messes up with the skin tones and there is too much whitening happening and doesn't look natural though. We have seen this issue in previous iQOO devices as well, and this can be fixed via updates. The edge detection seems to be pretty good overall. Now moving on to the low light images, here you can see that it has good looking low light photos in indoor lighting condition and artificial lights, and noise is kept to minimal, and thanks to OIS the footage is pretty good. When you turn on the night mode in extreme low light conditions, you can see images have good details even though the colors looks a bit boosted. Some images do look a bit unrealistic with night mode processing, but overall for the segment this is good low light experience. Moving on to the selfies, the 16 megapixel selfie camera does a good job here. There is good details and sharpness levels are also good. The skin tones are done decently well, although at times there is a bit of whitening happening, but not a major issue. Moreover, selfies are a personal choice, so you can decide based on the images. There is a portrait mode for selfies and it does a good job altogether. Moving on to video recording, it can record videos in 4K at 60 FPS and one of the few phones capable of doing this in this segment. There is no stabilization on offer, and hence it is not recommended for moving footage. The footage has good sharpness levels too. The phone also supports 4K at 30 FPS, and here the footage is stabilized and looks good too. There is good details and colors too. The 1080p at 60 FPS also supports stabilization, and it does a good job with colors and sharpness levels too. The 1080p at 30 fps also supports stabilization and overall good with good color reproduction. The footage also has good sharpness levels and stabilization works pretty well. There is also 1080p resolution available for the ultra wide angle camera, and it looks decent as the video quality is a bit too soft and dynamic range isn't the best. There is also slow motion support available and it does a good job overall. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the iQOO Neo 6. So you can record videos in 1080p resolution. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is. So that was a detailed camera review of the iQOO Neo 6. So how does it stack up as a camera smartphone in the 30K segment? Looking at the images, you can see that the primary camera does a good job in daylight, good ultra wide angle images, close-up images and also decent night photography along with good video recording too. The selfie camera also looks quite good. The macros are average as expected from the 2 megapixel sensor, and portraits needs a bit more fine tuning. But overall, looking at the camera, the iQOO Neo 6 has good setup which won't disappoint most users in this price segment. If you are looking for a camera smartphone below 30K, the iQOO Neo 6 should be there in your list. So what do you guys think about the camera on the iQOO Neo 6? Do let us know your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off with a camera review of the iQOO Neo 6. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button and also hit the subscribe button for more videos. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.